What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Triple T podcast for knife makers. Is that knife makers or knife makers? Knife makers. This is Jerid from Echo Blades, and this week we have a very special, long overdue guest because Denis is out chasing Mickey Mouse around Disneyland. We have Mr. Ryan Coakley from Ryan Chadbourne Knives and the Hustle and Grind podcast. Ryan, how the hell are you?
I'm good, man. I didn't realize how much better you guys' jingle is than ours.
It's pretty jingly, dude. It's an Olive Garden commercial as well. Yeah, we've seen it's been in an Olive Garden cushion, and then Denis, funny story, he sends me this like random reel the other day. This is a couple months back, maybe. And it's about like a mattress. It's like two people talking about sleeping on a new bed, and I'm like, what the hell is this about? Like, and it took me like 3 times listening to it, and then finally I heard our thing, and I'm like, oh, we've been stolen again. So, it took me a hot minute, but yeah. So you are here with us too because we did a crossover episode, and there was a lot of back and forth, and I'm really surprised that it's been this long, and you're finally getting your time over here. So for that, I apologize. It's not like you would hold this against us and maybe not listen to our podcast for any reason because of that.
I've been boycotting you.
Boycotting, really?
Yeah, I felt slighted. And I thought it was because Denis didn't like me anymore because he came on our show for the crossover and we interviewed somebody together. And
no, then yeah, that's not. None of that is true. I do know all of that. I still can't figure out how it. Why we didn't. How that didn't work out though.
In the group chat, there was concern that 4 crossover episodes in a row would get kind of bland. And I volunteered to be the odd man out. So all this like, I'm salty. I'm not salty. I just love talking shit. And that's why you and I vibe.
That's right.
So like, yeah. I knew that it was going to be months. I haven't listened to the show because I like music in my ears and Kill Tony and Matt and Shane's Secret podcasts. And that's pretty much I don't even listen to my own podcast.
Have you said that you're boycotting us?
Several times on my show. But if you had listened, which you did not.
Oh, man. Where's the crickets at?
You would have known that also. So like.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Yeah. So about that, I hadn't quite heard it because I have unofficially been boycotting. You guys are going to fall into that as well. But this is completely due to very unfortunate circumstances in my life that have caused me to be very, very busy and completely overwhelmed and isolated into a small bubble of my own thoughts. So I didn't even know, and I didn't even get the opportunity to feel slighted until right
Obviously,
now.
Denis didn't either. So
yeah, well, yeah, he's pretty self-absorbed anyway. So that's probably the reason why you felt slighted, because he just doing his normal Denis thing.
Well, and then in the group chat, he was like, "You're full of shit. The term Cobra chickens isn't real," or whatever he said. I'm paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, obviously it's real because we say it on our show. It's in one of our ads. I saw it on Letterkenny, Shoresy, and I'm pretty sure Trailer Park Boys. So
it's official word for me. It's all I know it from too. As
yeah,
well.
There was 2 of them flying over my house the other day, and I was like, "Oh, a couple Cobra chickens."
I've never seen one.
I think he's been.
It's like a
American
dragon to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, they kind of act like dragons. They're fucking mean, man.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, they're not cool birds. Like, you don't run up to a Canadian goose and throw bread at it. It's like, you throwing bread at me, dude? Well,
he's gonna fuck you up.
Oh yeah.
What do you want, some fucker?
Oh yeah. Dude, I'll tell you a story about him. Okay, when I was a little kid, my mom and her ex-husband took us camping, and we had to canoe to this little island on this lake in Maine. And we're canoeing across the lake. I'm in the boat with my stepdad, and 2 Canadian geese, we were apparently in their hood, start coming down, and they like hover above you kind of, and like flop their wings like, whoa, 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 and they get like close and they try and nip at you.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
My stepdad baseball batted one of them with a paddle in the chest, and it took it. Just like, I'm mad. Wah, wah. They're mean, dude.
No shit. So one time, since we're telling fucking Cobra Chicken stories here, one time at band camp, I got locked inside of a. I got locked inside of a. So half of my family lives in the country of California, like the Central Valley, and real rural. And we have a lot of animals and shit on a lot of land. And I got my cousins, because I was from the city, thought it was funny. They locked me in the kitchen, the chicken coop, but they had just caught a wild turkey. And the only reason why I even begin to tell this story is because when you were going like this, like that big wing thing. I wish you guys.
They try and look big. For the listeners, they try and look big, so they stick their wings out to the side and like flap them like that.
Oh my god! I apologize for the
do a little neck
that was probably, but yeah. The way I described the story, because they told me to go after the turkey and just try to get it, and I had no clue. And this was a wild ass turkey, and a jive wild ass turkey, and he took flight in this little ass chicken coop, busted me in my head with his feet, like, through his shit, cut my face. It was like the Matrix, though. In my mind, it was all slow. He was like, "Oh," so yeah, I got attacked by a wild turkey as well.
That's worse, because like a Cobra chicken, they don't have any real weapons. I mean, you could literally walk up on one and grab it by the neck and kill it. They're just aggressive. They're territorial. So they're bitches. They're mean. A turkey is a wild animal that roosts on the ground, basically, and has talons and a beak that is pointy. Like, they will hurt you.
So a Cobra chicken is just like a big ass duck?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's like a swan duck thing.
That's majestic. I mean, I'm Canadian. It's majestic.
Yeah, it's no bald eagle.
Gotcha. That's right.
Not just a poke, a little jab in there, but
I think was it last week that I think Denis is an official American this week.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he had his ceremony last week. His induction into the greatest country in the history of the world.
Fucking right. Good for him.
Yeah. Told him. Good.
I mean, that must mean he has no place to speak on Canadian slang terms then.
That's when we were talking about that whole thing. I told him, should I
not even be swearing?
Do
you guys not swear?
No, you could swear all you want.
Okay.
My mom listens, but whatever. It's all good.
Hi, Jerid the mom.
Hi, mama. Yeah, no, it's kind of weird. But only one time she's ever been like, Jerid. I'm like, it's been like 50 episodes before I said that. Like, get out of here. I've been a good boy for a long time. No, you're good. No worries. Yeah, but he's an official American now.
One of us.
And yeah. Well, it's May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, my friend.
Thanks, buddy.
Are you the Star Wars kind of guy?
I like the not ruined Star Wars.
Gotcha. So through this show, through interactions with Kyle, Daly, Noah, a handful of other people, and then one time, I guess Noah slipped a Hoth reference over my head, and one of my buddies kind of let me have it, and I was like, all right, listen, let's just get this out right there. Like, I love Star Wars. I love it. But apparently I love the idea of being a huge fan more than I actually am, because I don't know, like, I'm not geeked out all over about it. So,
and you should be proud of that.
But I'm excited for.
Don't let them shame you, Jerid.
I just, my enthusiasm to be a Star Wars nerd is through the roof. I just don't have the knowledge and the hours behind it.
For the community of our buddies who are Star Wars nerds, I enjoy the OG Star Wars and the prequels. I don't care for any of the new stuff. I don't have the patience or time to even. If I'm gonna sit down and like waste time on a Xbox, it's gonna be with Elden Ring.
Gotcha.
So I like Star Wars, and I'll play the games because the Star Wars video games are pretty good. I thought I was a Lord of the Rings nerd. Noah showed me that there's levels to it, and I know nothing.
Same.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get any deeper.
I'm with you, because I shared a reel with him one time of some guy that went all off on the deep end of a tangent thing, and I was like, dude, this guy reminded me. He goes, yo, no, this is such and such and such, and he's the badass. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're next level, bro.
Yeah, he's the son of Borogon and Poradnon and
Aorta.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Well,
they make good movies. They could never remake the Lord of the Rings movies now. They could never.
You know what? I think this, in honor of me celebrating my 18 years of continuous clean time recovery last Friday, which was a really cool day. And thank you for everyone of the listeners that reached out and said your well wishes to me on that Friday. Much appreciated. Much love. I appreciate it. And you, last week I was talking about that I had an upcoming recovery birthday. And part of that process, Ryan, is that you don't get to say that you have 18 years until you actually have 18 years. Right. So the week before, I couldn't actually say that I had 18 years. So people were, I'm saying I'm coming up on 18 years. So I'm here and I have 18 years clean, and it's a beautiful thing. And, but the Lord of the Rings reminds me of every now and again, because I miss every now and again. I'll miss and want to smoke weed and drink beer, and not so much the other stuff. But one of the greatest times I ever had was watching the Two Towers with a big ass bag of weed and a lot of munchies. I just sat on my ass the entire weekend basically and just watched a bunch of Lord of the Rings. And that's what I think about every time I think about Lord of the Rings, is how much I love and miss weed.
I mean, I have 8 minutes clean.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful.
I thoroughly enjoy weed.
Yes.
Nothing else. I don't drink alcohol. Well, the ENs, caffeine and nicotine, but
what I got.
Tiger Tears.
Yes.
That shit is so good.
I just had my very first Tiger Tears from our good buddy Gabe from Anchorage Forge. He sent me this wonderful sparkling hop water, dry hop with Sparta hops, 0 alcohol, 0 calories. And I heard about this before I started boycotting the Hustle and Grind podcast. And he had mentioned that he had a non-alcoholic sparkling water. And I was like, all right, I'm raising my hand. That sounds really cool.
I was expecting not to like it, and I really enjoyed it. It's really good. Circling back, though, are you interventioning me on my weed consumption? Oh, okay.
I'm simply highlighting and acknowledging in a very selfish and egotistical manner of my recognition of my 18 years.
It takes a lot of discipline, especially with something like weed. I don't know what else you were into. But
more. That was it.
Right. I mean, it's hard to get to the point where you need to recognize recovery of just weed. Yeah. It's like that scene in Half Baked.
Yeah. I've seen him.
You're in here for some marijuana?
Yeah. I seen him. That's one of my favorite lines ever.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. But no intervention here, no judgment. I don't give two shits what you or anybody else does with their time. This is a personal decision that I had to make for myself and my family, and that's where we are. But there are some times where it's really easy to we call it romancing the disease, but like only think about the good times, right? And I can just forget about that. I had this huge bout with despair, and my life was a shit show, and all that other crap. So, but yeah, Lord of the Rings and pizza, and so.
Yeah, you're making me squirm with all this emotional talk. You plan this. You're like, Ryan hates talking about feelings.
Wait till I ask you about when was the last time you felt loved, Ryan? No.
I'm married. It's been a while.
Yeah, I know. Well, I see. That's ironic, though, because my wife gave me this beautiful chip of 18 years clean, and I felt loved by her. It was very cool. This is the token. This is what you get. Apparently, if you turn these into a bar, they'll give you 18 free drinks. It's the myth. I don't know.
How nice of them.
That's such a troll move. But
they're like, welcome back, brother.
Yeah. So maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the 1 year, because the whole trip is get you in on the first one. But oh yeah. Anyways, back to that stuff. How have you been since we've been departed? I know you're heading to Blade Show, so I'm going to see you here shortly, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm driving down.
Yeah,
that's a haul.
That is a haul from your
Maine.
Connecticut, Maine, or
I'm in
past
Maine.
Connecticut. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're up there.
You're the tip.
Yeah.
You know what else?
I am the tip.
You are the tip. You are the front. Speaking of the tip, our buddy Lawrence Lake from Maritime Knife Supply. You're like, how close are you?
I think 6 or 8 hours, something like that.
No fucking way.
I'm 3.5 hours from Pickle. Like, from his doorstep, you can see the Maine border.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, I'm way up there. It's if I drove straight through, it's a 19.5-hour drive. But
no, I'm more tripping out on the fact that Hathi and Empire is still 6 hours away from you, and that's what, northeast Nova Scotia?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because they're kind of like a little like island-ish type thing dangling off the end of Canada.
Huh.
Some interesting folks up that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's one really cool one, and that's just that whole geographical lesson that we went on just only adds to the amazement of how he's able to get us over here in California, our packages so quick. But if you're in the market for any of your knife making supplies, go check out Lawrence Lake from Maritime Knife Supply. He's got you covered. He's got everything you need, from abrasives to steel to tools, machinery, all brand new and improved folder lineup put together from him and Mr. Know-It-All Terrell. Got you covered. Everything you need. Go check out Lawrence and tell him the boys at Triple T sent you. I'm about to put in a big ass order of steel.
Nice.
Tonight for Damascus only, though, because I got a shit ton of stainless stock, and unfortunately I haven't been making anything because my life sucks. But I'm worried about the old Terrify poo, so I'm gonna just stock up on several lengths of feet of some steel. So that's gonna happen tonight.
I wonder how that works with drop shipping. I'll have to ask him, because he drops when I get big orders from him, it's like sheets. So
I think that's
he has a drop ship. So I wonder if that still counts, because it never leaves the US.
I'm assuming he's got that figured out, but that would be something that I would imagine is going to be probably utilized if it gets out of hand, because that only makes sense.
Totally.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lawrence. We'll see him soon too.
Yeah, he'll be there. All right. So you're driving from Maine to Atlanta. How long is that?
If I drove straight, it'd be 19.5 hours. But me and my brother are driving down. Shout out to Pretty Richie.
What's up, Pretty Richie?
He's a bougie motherfucker.
So you're gonna drive 3 and stop and eat and lift weights and then move on?
He ain't lifting no weights. He's got a fucking herniated umbilical cord now.
Ouch.
Yeah, as of like yesterday or the day before, because he's old and lifts too many weights. So I hate to be the I told you so brother, but I told him this was going to happen.
Oh no!
Don't no him.
Would he stop at like? Well, like, is he the guy that would stop at Planet Fitness along the way?
Or we just get a hotel room with a gym.
Oh, okay. I think that counts as a Planet Fitness.
I love him right to death. I would die for him. But we have one of them relationships where we relentlessly make fun of each other.
That seems to be a theme. Most great relationships are rooted in a lot of shit talking.
Yeah, and he's a champion. He crushes it. He's a tattoo artist. So,
and I take it you've been a canvas for him for many times?
I was his training partner, I guess you would say.
Training canvas?
Yeah, because I have no shame. So having a shitty tattoo on me because my brother was learning means nothing to me. I'm like,
that's really supportive of you. That's a great way to show affection and support for somebody that you care about.
He picked me because I'm kind of numb. So like one thing for up and coming tattoo artists or apprenticing tattoo artists is they need practice clients who are capable of sitting. So if you can get a tattoo and remain still for 4, 5, 6 hours, you're a great practice canvas over somebody who squirms and is like, because they're not in that moment. They're not trying to overcome that. That area sucks though.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. Right. You wouldn't think so, but like right on the wrist is pretty shitty.
Oh.
Like right above where your watch would sit.
Right here.
Yeah.
I want something here. And I've heard really lame stuff about that. That's actually a bitch.
Yeah. Some areas are terrible.
That's one of them?
Yeah. Pretty much they call it the ditch. So the ditch of any joint. So the back of your knees, when I got the back of my knees tattooed, I had tears coming out of my eyes.
Oh, fuck, Ryan, you're not helping me. I'm a bitch. You know that, right? Like I don't, yeah. I every time I get burned right there, I tell everybody. Brent was telling me the other day, he's like, listen, Jerid, I'm tired of hearing about your fucking forge burns, dude. I'm covered in
I love Brent, dude. Brent's a riot. But yeah, so like I have the ditches of my elbows done and the backs of my knees. And the back of the calf is pretty horrible area. The back of the knees is torturous, dude. I couldn't even lie. Some areas aren't bad though. The forearms, the sides of the arms where dudes usually get tattooed. And it's a male or female thing too. It's more or less sensitive on females in certain areas. I'm not saying that like in a pervy way, but like an area on a man that wouldn't bother like his muscular bicep on a female, it's going to hurt more.
Yeah, that's the only thing I have.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's about the easiest spot right there.
That's what I imagine.
Yeah,
I got that shit faced. It bled like hell.
The bingo wing flab, like by your armpit on the back of the arm, is the worst spot I think I've ever been tattooed. Fuck. Yeah. Like going back to the male versus female, women handle rib and sternum tattoos a lot better than men do.
Well, maybe because I am a little puss, then the lack of masculinity will come into effect and it won't hurt me as bad.
No, it's gonna hurt. I have a paw print with my dog's heartbeat that passed away a couple years ago on my wrist. And when Richie was doing it, I was like, bro, why does that hurt so much? He goes, it's just that spot, man. He's just lacing into me. But yeah, it felt like a laser, dude. Just in that one spot, like right above where your watch would sit.
Well, like I said, I want to like right there. I'm going to put my maker's mark there. So when I go out for the handshake, shameless plug every day.
Right on.
That's what I'm at. That's what I'm about. But that's the only thing creatively. Prior to knife making, I'm not an artist. Like I can't draw. I design fire sprinklers. So that's the one that is probably the only. It is definitely the thing I'm most proud of that I thought up in my own small little brain. So
your maker's mark.
The two, the BBs.
It is hard.
That's That's like, well, I don't know. Somebody just start something, and I'm one of those guys that can critique things once I see something, but like dreaming it up is very hard.
Yeah, the creationist mind is different. If you can create something out of the ether, that's a superpower.
It is a superpower. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. Speaking of like ethers and superpowers, I have zero, and I have nothing to go on of your superpower origin. Like, how did you start making
knives?
Yeah, or making whatever. I know you fix lawnmowers, but so you're a tinkerer.
That I've always been a tinkerer. Always. Okay. Some of my earliest memories when I was a little kid, I was very rambunctious, and to occupy me, my mom would. I'm almost 40, so this is back in the rotary phone days, like 1988, 89. So my mom would get a rotary phone junk out of the trash and give it to me with a little stubby Phillips head screwdriver, and I would take it apart all the way down to the
that's
the
like
bits and pieces.
That's the late 80s version of an iPad.
Yeah, she'd give me a paper bag, the phone, and a screwdriver, and I would take it apart to every little bitty piece. At that point in time, I couldn't put it back together, but it's just always something.
I was going to say you're going to steal my joke, because I always say, like, I'm a genius when it comes to taking shit apart. I just can never put it back together.
No, that came later. But yeah, it's just something. My brain's always worked that way. I can take a motor apart down to the crankshaft, leave it for 5 months, and put it back together, and it's just
no roadmap. Just that's
no pictures, no nothing. Wow. I never take pictures when I take stuff apart. I used to. It's just a learned skill, just like anything. And some people are just predisposed to being able to do certain things. I've always been able to fix shit. And there's some sort of like satisfaction I used to get. Now that I've done it professionally for 8 years, it's lost its luster.
Huh.
Sometimes I still take stuff apart though for science. I'm like, I don't know how that works. I'm going to take that apart so I can see how it works. I don't need to put it back together. It's going in the trash. But it happens all the time.
Oh, that's good. Wow. I just got a notification on my from my computer that blew my ears off. Apparently my volume in my headset's really high. That scared the shit out of me.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah. No, I was just all straight in my head. Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Growing up, my formative years, my bedroom looked like a TV repair shop. And I was blowing the breaker in my bedroom all the time, to the point where like I figured out how to reset it. So I just stopped telling my mom I blew the breaker, and I just go down and reset it, come back up.
Jeez. So all that tinkering led you to one day. How'd you start? How'd you get into this?
I always liked knives, loved them as a kid. And then when I was, probably 8, there was a little accident, and my mom took knives away, and I wasn't allowed to have them again until I was an adult.
Okay.
And, I don't know. One day I was at work working on a rototiller, and I was like, these tines would make a really cool looking knife. And I like roughly ground one to bevels like sharper than they come normally. Had no idea about heat treating or any of that shit. And that's still around here somewhere. And then I made another one out of a lawnmower blade and a pallet. And then I saw Morocco on Joe Rogan, and I was like, whoa, you could actually like be cool and do this.
How long ago was that?
2018.
Okay. So you started before the whole COVID?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not a COVID baby.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But so I made a few knives that first year, and then I realized quite quickly, once you start getting obsessed with this, that I needed legitimate equipment. So then I spent like 2 years building my first grinder and my first kiln. So there was like
that's right, you did.
Yeah, there was like 2 years in there where I didn't make a knife because I was just building tooling.
Yeah. I can relate to that. I built, because I say but my buddy Jeff and I, built a shit ton of our tools, grinder, just endless stuff. And it was hard because we both have full-time jobs, so getting together, 6 hours a week to kind of do things. I was forced to grab some not shitty, but just some beginner style grinders and stuff. Cause like you're saying, this shit is like, it consumes you. Once you get, when you get that bug, it gets you. And then you're off and running. But, all right, 2 years of making tools, and then you just and you ever get with anybody? Cause you're like a loner person. What do you mean? Nature,
like
right?
Meet up with another maker?
Yeah. Like, did you have any kind of teaching, or just all like YouTube and trial and error stuff?
Yeah, 100%. I've never worked in somebody else's shop, and nobody's ever worked in my shop. Only one maker has ever stepped foot in my shop, and that's Mark Bishop of M Bishop Knives, because when I got my even heat, I gave him my old kiln because he didn't have
so one. He just picked it up.
Yeah, because he's like 20 minutes away. Wow. Because it's not something you can sell. A homemade kiln, you can't like sell it. Yeah. And it was just taking up space, and the thing sucks the power, dude. That thing has no power regulation on it whatsoever. It is 100% full power all the time. So, yeah.
Interesting.
So I was like, I'll find another maker, and I'll be like, don't electrocute yourself. Have a kiln.
And then I am almost the complete opposite. Like I you have to, right? But I 100% prefer to be with somebody, to hang out, to go. Like, I have traveled all over the country basically now at this point, checking out other people's shops and hanging out and getting with as many people as I can, because that's my speed. But ironically, I'm not a big fan of it put me in a place where I had to step out of my comfort zone of not reaching out and trying to, do that. But it has been, and I highly suggest, if you're able to, it has been the best part of the experiences, all the people and getting all that stuff. And then obviously hooking up with Denis wasn't a bad deal. Right.
I'm getting to the point now where I want to, because, like, what's the term? Autodidact is, I guess, the best way to describe me. Self-taught, somebody who can only learn by teaching themselves. So like watching somebody do something or listening to an explanation, it just one ear out the other. I can't comprehend it. But if I see you do it, I can develop my own rationale on why you're doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm getting to the point now where you can only teach yourself so much. And then you need to get out there, because everybody has these weird little nuances in what they do. And they might not like that. I don't even think most people recognize that they do it, but somebody watching you do it is going to pick up on it. Like how you hold your blade, or where you apply pressure when you're trying to do a certain thing, or you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Watching Jason Knight grind at Blade Show 2 years ago in the Ameribraid booth. Like I got right up on him, and I'm like, oh, because he does this like little flick thing with the tip when he takes it off the belt. And I was like, what? What is that about? Why are you doing that? And then you start thinking about it. Then you start trying it. And I think everybody, including myself, I'm getting to that point now where I need to be more social. I like my own I'm in my man cave, dude. I got a 2-car garage full of all my favorite shit.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with. I mean, that's the cool thing about making, is that there's no wrong way to do it, whether you're with other people or whether you're by yourself. I mean, ultimately, you can't make things with somebody all the time, right? So there's a huge amount of that we get, right? But I'll quickly get myself in an unmotivated zone, and that's one of the things that I think I wanted to bring up about you, is that by proxy, by just Instagram, from the podcast and stuff, is that and one of the more admirable traits that I've witnessed from those things from you is how much you actually fucking hustle. and get after it. Like you get shit done, and I am very envious, and oftentimes consider myself, not as motivated because, you have a regular job, but the crazy amount of batch work that you put in, and and I think it's a shame because when you talk about having to put out 50 plus knives in this small block of time, and you don't really get to share that with the community, right? That's like a shame, a crime to me.
I appreciate the compliment, but that's how I get those orders, because a lot of makers aren't willing to not. I don't say this as an insult. This is just a reality. Their ego gets in the way.
100%.
And I think Brian House has described it as a scarcity complex, which is my hustle, as you say it, because I just can't stop. I cannot, last $20, Ryan is an asshole.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Because I grew up very poor. So as an adult who has people who depend on him, I am laser focused, and to the point where if I take any downtime, I feel like a piece of shit, like to a detriment. It's a problem. I sleep 5 hours a night.
So do I, but for many other reasons. But
yeah, and I'm mad at myself. I can't do 4.
I'm actually in this weird spot where I guess it's my age. Now I'm 45 now. I'll be 46 here in a while, but I'm actually starting to feel the effects of my sleep schedule. Like I don't feel 100%. But I can't get like more, like by me increasing my thing is like by 1 or 2 hours. Cause like I'll have an incident like last week where I went to bed at like 8:00 and I woke up at 2 and I was done. That was it. I was like, well, okay, now what? What the fuck? I was trying to catch up on some sleep. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a late night guy, and it really messes with me because my job is, I got to be there at 8. So I got to be up at 6. So like my sleep schedule swaps 180 degrees every week, because Friday when I'm out of work, I get out at 4 and I come home. I say hi, I eat dinner, and then I go in the shop, and I'm out here till 4:30
in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because that's when I'm most productive. Is like, I don't know if it's leftovers because I worked in kitchens so long and I liked closing. I like the night shifts, but I'm most productive from like 9 p.m. to like 3 a.m. And then that last hour and a half is just me winding down. Sometimes I'll go inside and play Elden Ring to kind of like tire myself down.
Yeah, I got a little bit of that myself. Like I have that mindless zone of it's stimulating, but it's kind of calming and puts you down too.
Yeah. There's no windows in my shop either, and that doesn't help. So if I come out here at like 3 in the afternoon, before I know it, it's dark out, and I had no idea. I go outside and it's like 2 in the morning. I'm like, oh shit, what time is it? It happens. Yeah. My wife's very patient.
No, that's cool. Yeah, mine is too.
And I'm 12 feet away. I mean, it's a detached garage. It's literally 16 feet from my kitchen window to the door of my shop. So if she wants to see me, she can just walk out here.
I'm attached. I'm in a 2-car garage as well, but
attached. Oh, that would suck.
It is attached.
That would suck. I'm blasting like stupid, like lame ass 39-year-old Ryan music out here at like 3:00 in the morning, just cranking music. Nice. It's like that meme where it's like my neighbors are far enough away.
Nice.
My closest neighbor is probably 200 yards away.
Oh wow!
And they're old people. They go to bed at like 7. Yeah, we're the youngest people in our neighborhood.
Yeah, that's a foreign concept, having space between neighbors here for me.
I have a moat around my property, bud. My mom actually a moat.
Oh, a moat.
Yeah, I have a 4 to 5 foot deep ditch all around my whole property and a tree line on the other side.
Oh, jeez.
My mom when I bought this house, my mom came over to see it, and she was like, "Go figure, you would buy a house with a moat around it." I was like,
did you put anything dangerous in there?
No, it's just you couldn't cross it. I mean, this is like old farmland behind us, so when it rains, all the water drains off that farmland, and the moat or the ditch diverts the water around the property. And
I see.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly down in there. I have to climb in there once a year towards the fall and weed whack all the weeds down.
Somebody asked me the other day, because I don't intend on California being my end game, but
that's good.
I don't. They were like, "Well, where would you want to go?" And I go, "Well, that's a good fucking question, because I want to live in California that's not in California, and this is the only place where I have all the things that I'm accustomed to, my entire life. Perfect weather, no snow. It's hot as where I'm at, anyways. It's hot as fuck for 3 months a year, but then the rest of it's just like perfect. And I just don't know. Florida was on my list for a long time until I went over there and hung out with Brent. I'm like, fuck that. There's not a. It seems like I'm gonna have to be one of those old people where I have 2 residences, right? I spend the winter one place and the summer somewhere else, because I don't know. I just can't equalize cold, because I know you guys get cold, right?
Yeah, it's 54 today. I mean, we're in this weird limbo time of year where we call it the mud season, because everything's thawed. It's raining, but it's still like not warm enough to really like be cool with spending a lot of time outside. Like, I mowed my lawn 2 days ago and had the wood stove going today. So it's like we're in this weird limbo. Our winters aren't what they used to be. I mean, when I was a kid, even up into adulthood, we would get singular storms where we get 3 feet.
Do you do any forging?
I
know this answer. Yeah.
I forged 4 round bars into flat-ended round bars and then made a knife stand out of them.
Oh.
How
with a forge, or?
No, with my kiln.
With your kiln? I was going to say, yeah, because I don't think you got a forge.
I have a forge. I've never lit it.
Gotcha.
I put it, it's a Mr. Volcano. I put it together. I've never lit it. I've had it like 6 years.
Yeah. Well, forging is like it's not the new thing, but I'm like, the way I've explained it is that stock removal was the gateway in for me. Once I saw, I can't remember who it was, YouTube, Redbeard Ops. He had a video on how to make a knife with cheap things. And like I describe it as like he demystified this process for me, like, and made it like seem like I could do it. So stock removal came pretty easy for me. I never really struggled with the process, the overall process. I mean, getting good at it is another thing, right? But forging has been an entirely different situation for me, and something that I've really locked in on and have made something that I'm going to conquer. But if you're going to forge, you got to have a forge, and then you got to have a hammer. So if you're in the market for a new hammer, go check out Frank and Nita over at Two Basterds Smithy and Supply. They have the most incredible fat peen. They got all the peens you want, a straight peen, cross peen. I'm trying to talk them into doing a curvy peen, all the peens that you need, because that fat bastard, that's not a fat bastard. The Two Basterds fat peen will take out any fat bastard. But yeah, if you're in the market for a new hammer, go check out Frank and Nita over at Two Basterds Smithy and Supply and get your mitts on a fat peen, because
get that fat peen in your hand.
Ain't it grand to have a fat peen in your hand?
Just to touch on that, I fucking love Frank and Nita. They are salt of the earth people. The second I met them at Blade last year, I was like, I love you two. You guys are awesome. You're my people.
They're the best.
They're the best.
Yeah.
So go get a fat peen in your hand.
Go get that fat peen. Yeah. I got a chance when I went to Texas Blade Show last year, or in March, not last year. I got to hang out with him for a minute there, but just awesome dude, and Nita's badass as well. So yeah, go do that.
I believe somebody got a picture. I was taking a picture with them, and I wasn't doing it, but somebody got the perfect shot of me looking down at Nita's boobs in the picture. That wasn't what I was doing. I must have just been adjusting or something like that. Totally respectful. And somebody just happened to snap it at the exact moment where it looked that way and appeared that way. And you saying that reminded me of that, but
yeah. You know, I was going to tell you, because I was telling Dennis, I'm like, when you're going to be on here, I said, no, my hope for this episode is that Ryan gets to say all the things that Noah's going to cut him off for. I'm not going to do that. So if you want to talk about looking at, sponsors,
I wasn't looking
arbitrary, on an accident type thing, getting caught and roasted. I think that's awesome.
I can't even remember who snapped the photo, but they were teasing me about it, and I was like, no, that wasn't what was going on.
Yeah, no shot there, but yeah,
they're awesome.
That's a cool story.
And Frank was the most dapper man I've ever seen.
He's a beast.
He's got some style, bro. I look homeless. Toby from Fire and Steel was teasing me at Blake because I had epoxy on my shirt, and he's like, "You look like a schlub," and I was like, "I am a schlub." I ain't trying to impress you. I'm not selling any of you guys knives.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah.
So you're new. Let me ask you something. Yeah. I'm gonna throw a wrench in your gears. Your new endeavor into forging.
Mm-hmm.
Where did this come out of peer pressure or just natural evolution?
No, just strictly something that I wanted to do. There was zero pressure. I put it like, I guess bluntly, is like, I give two fucks about the whole bladesmith or knife maker. I don't play that game. It's not anything I'm interested in. I think that developing skills set in our trade is something that I'm interested in pursuing, and I don't see anything wrong with it. The biggest part about forging is that I'm struggling to learn it. It's not come easy for me.
It's an entirely it's a whole other
moving metal. Like it doesn't make sense to me that I got to hit it here to make it do this. And I struggle with that a lot in the very beginning. But people that do it, they make it look easy, and there's some really awesome stuff out there. I always like Damascus. That was, for me, that was one of the things. That's why hooking up with Denis was really, I'm trying to think of a fucking big word here, but I'm coming up empty because whatever. But that was something that was really interesting to me. So having that access to one of, the better Damascus makers in our community, damn near next door, was really cool. And then, when you have the opportunity to use our buddy Coy and the boys over at Baker Forged and Tool, because if you're not interested in making your own Damascus, we have a wonderful community and some awesome people. But if you're looking for the best pattern welded steel in the business and you don't want to do it yourself, go check out Coy at Baker Forged and Tool. They got some awesome stuff, including the all new line of Gator Piss, the regular formula. They got the brand new heavy and the new stainless Gator Piss Max. I think the pre-orders are still going. Not 100% on that.
I don't know. I'm a bad sponsoree also.
Yeah, I think, that go try it. Because I remember when Gator Piss came out, I called Coy and I was like, apparently I missed the pre-order. And because he's an awesome dude, he's like, well, just give me your info and we'll take care of you. So I was able to get a batch of that. But yeah, they also have not a website, the app where you can get the discount. You can get a early access to the drops. This week we got Twist Damascus. This batch is made with 1084 and 15N20. Sports a one of a kind braided rope look from our special layering process, surface ground and clean. And it's some of the finest twists we've produced. So that's the drop. Unfortunately, by the time these things air, I think you guys have the same, since we air on the same day, the stuff goes quick. So get ahead of that. But when you use the app, you can get a day early access to the drops that are coming up. And you can get that stuff in from Maritime Knife Supply if you're in the Hoth region of Northern America. You see what I said? Northern America.
I mean,
cool.
It is the North American continent.
That's right. So, anyways, Coy and the boys. I just did a reel. I had to get some. Coy brought us some of the heavy when he was here, and I told Denis I needed some, so I went and put this little container, and we poured it in and taped the top, and I was like, So I strapped it up in the seatbelt, wrapped it up, and transferred it over here with some precious cargo and like a baby in a car seat. So,
are you curious why I don't forge?
Yeah, I am.
Oh.
Why don't you forge?
I was. How do I articulate this? I've been asked this before, and sometimes I give a sarcastic answer, like I don't fucking want to, or whatever. I find that a lot of guys that forge, they hold a certain level of sentiment to it because it's something that it's an antiquated method, right? I mean, in reality, you're doing something that our ancestors did out of necessity for fun. My mind, I'm more like, I'm not opposed to it for any reason other than like time to learn a new skill set versus time I have to make my existing amount of orders. But it does appeal to me in the marketability aspect because it gives you another avenue to market yourself and your knives. And so if you're like me and you're doing a lot of batch work or OEM orders where your name isn't on it, forging would be an ideal way to market yourself to other clientele.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in this weird catch-22 where I'm too damn busy now doing batch work or any of my other life projects, because I've got, my house, my day job, all that shit, to dedicate enough time to be proficient at it. And I'm not ready to suck for that long, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
I think when you work yourself into that spot where, so I'm taking it that you're now in a place with your making that is you're not, I don't want to say reliant, but it is a source of income for you.
I make more from knives than I do my day job.
So,
and it pisses my boss off. But I'm at a weird limbo where I don't make enough from either to support myself. So I have to do both.
Right. I think I don't want to say that's the case for most people because that's definitely not. But I think for myself, I let me just rephrase that. I respect people that have and capitalize on the opportunity to generate more income for themselves, however that is. Right. So
it's worth mentioning though, Jerid, so your listeners who don't know me know I'm a whore for money and I could have $17 billion trillion and never be satisfied. So it's just like, it's a weird limbo that I'm in. I definitely want to learn because I do make Damascus knives, and it is nice to be able to say, and it does increase the value of your product to be able to say, I made this Damascus. Because I have noticed as a stock removal guy, when I'm like, Micah Dunn made this billet or Baker Forge and Tool made the steel, they're like, what does that mean? Because the majority of your clientele has no fucking idea how to make knives. So it puts you in a weird spot.
It does.
I'm not a like rush into anything kind of guy. Like I'm slow. I have a forge. I'm slowly building a press. I've got all the steel. I've got the hydraulics now.
I'm doing the same.
It's just piece it together. What's that Johnny Cash song? One piece at a time.
I don't know that one.
No, he talks
about. I know a lot of Johnny Cash, but
he talks about he works at a car factory and he steals one piece of the car every day
Nice.
Until he gets a whole car.
There you go. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I that's why I asked you about peer pressure, because I've gotten a lot of peer pressure from the boys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you know the boys, the crew.
I do. Yeah.
They're like, Ryan, you should forge. It's awesome. And I'm like, I'm sure it is, bro.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I want to say it's not peer pressure, it's ball busting in its truest form amongst your people, but I like to think of it as a way of trying to share, something that they enjoy and try to get you to participate along with them. So I think it's less in that group, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sentimental.
Yeah.
So I don't feel that. I don't feel that sentiment. Does something like, I don't know if I have a tumor, something in my brain, that spot is shut off. I don't feel sentimental about almost anything. And so when people feel that sentiment about forging, I don't feel that. It just doesn't exist in my world. It has to have a rationale behind it. And I'm just slow rolling, just doing my thing. Eventually, someday, it's going to happen. But to put the time constraint into perspective for you, I made 323 knives last year.
Jeez.
By myself while working 4 days a week at a job. I couldn't.
That's insane.
When I added them all up at the end of the year, I was like, holy shit, I did that many? Oh my God. How did that happen? Like,
yeah,
it's almost a knife a day. And that's why I don't know if your clients ever ask you this, but the most common question I get asked is, how long does it take you to make a knife?
And someone just asked me that yesterday.
Yeah. And I'm like, I couldn't even put it into words for you. It just doesn't work that way. It's not, it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I think that's hard too, because I mean, the running joke with me is that I've when you say you made 300 some knives last year, that blows my
completed.
Mind, because
that's not like ones I fucked up, or I've got a whole bin of Jerided out blanks.
Yeah,
so it's it is what it is. That's not a brag. That's why we don't talk about this stuff on the Hustle and Grind. It's all about the guest.
Yeah.
And I just,
no, I think that's great, because that's what I was most interested in, is trying to get a little bit more insight on some things, about you. Because we're not an interview show either. It's just Denis and I, doing our thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, like, I get it. Part of this deal is we're all interesting people. And I've met, I mean, the ratio of, douchebags to fucking awesome people is like, it's completely lopsided. There's only like, I can count on, I don't even think I can fill a hand up with how many people that I could never talk to again and wouldn't give a shit about. Because generally, like, there's a lot of cool people, and there's so much to learn and so much to share amongst each other in the community, and that's one of the awesome things about it. But like, that's why I was asking, like, how long have you been making? You started in 18, and you're just purely stock removal, and now it's a source of income, and now you're reliant upon source of income. What is your favorite thing to make? Like, what gets you going? So everything stops tomorrow, everything's complete, you don't have an order, and you get to do whatever you want. What are you going to
make? I don't know.
I would say the same thing, just so you know.
There's things I want to make on my list. Like, I've got 2 Gladius blanks ready to grind, and another like little short sword that I already like have partially rough ground. Because swords are awesome, and I don't have a legit one, and I've always wanted to make them, even if I don't like want that to be a part of my market, because that is a hard hustle to sell handmade swords, because you're getting up into the buco bucks, with all the work that goes into them. But just being able to say I made this sword is pretty cool. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe a sword. Every time I have free time, like I made a big ass Magna Cut machete the other day because I had a little bit of free time, and I had it all cut out and heat treated. So I was like, I'll just grind this out, slap some handles on it. I made a big fuck off Bowie knife last year at a 1/4 inch thick 80 CRV2.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I had a little pause in between orders. I was like, I'll just make some, because doing batch work, you're making 50, 70, 25, 10, whatever it is, identical knives back to back to back to back to back. So
right.
Usually when I have a lull, I make something weird that I've never done before.
Yeah. So have you predominantly done like culinary or EDC, or like what's your main jam?
I'll do anything anybody pays me to make. Okay. Horror for money, Jerid.
Yeah. Any preferences? I'm saying.
I love money culinary knives.
Same. That is probably the most surprising thing about where I've ended up is how much and that's just the other part of the forging that was really, really attractive because, and we all, it's going to transition right into my next question, but seeing somebody forge a culinary knife, like I had the opportunity to watch Mareko take one of his little micro billets out at Maker's Camp and whip that thing up and finish that knife 100% the first year I was there, which I still think is a shame because this was like two plus years ago. It would have been so much more beneficial for me to watch that today. And 90% of that shit went right over my head. Like I had no idea like the awesomeness that I was witnessing, but that's really what really gets me going is culinary. And I had zero interest in it. I'm not a cook. I don't like to cook. But I think a really well done forged or even stockman, it doesn't really matter. Culinary knife is freaking badass to me, but swords and all that other crap shit is now becoming like cool to me as well. Cause I wasn't a knife guy at all.
That's a reigniting your inner 12-year-old.
Yeah.
What I feel like on swords. Cause it's just like, It's awesome. I've never, that like, ooh feeling when you see a really nice, like when you see Gabe Fletcher's work from Anchorage, like, ooh, that's nice. I've never felt that looking at an EDC hunter or whatever. It's always culinary knives. Always.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. I don't know if I've been
like I've acknowledged niceness, but I've never gotten that visceral like, ooh, baby, like look at that. It's just never happened.
And I think ironically though, if I never have to make a Bowie, it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. Like those are not my jam, but I have been wowed by those. Like there's some freaking fantastic, just incredible builds. But I don't think I've ever felt that way about an EDC or a hunter either.
Yeah,
it's kind of run of the mill. There's some awesome ones, really well done and really cool, unique, and very standoutish. But
there are some makers who come close to achieving that. Like, I
know you're going to say. You want me to say it for you?
Yeah, say it.
Seth
Lopez.
Yeah,
100%. Also, why is his name escaping me?
Oh, I would have bet the farm that's who you're talking about.
Well, him also. I mean, Seth is in a league of his own. That dude's on levels. Noah made fun of me, said I was kissing his ass when he was on the show, and I didn't even realize it. Probably because he's so fucking good. I was like, dude, you're so fucking good. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But
no, that's worthy.
Matt Gentry.
Okay.
Yeah, he's another one. His EDC, they almost, for me, come to that point where I'm like, ooh. But it's not the same. It's something to do with culinary knives. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I cooked for a long time, or I don't know. Maybe it's part of why I like making them so much is because they sell really good.
Yeah, that was one of the big kickers for myself was.
Yeah, the return on investment for the buyer is actually like tangible.
Yeah. I think it's natural progression for us to start making knives and want to sell them. But like, how many hunters and how many knife nerds do you come in contact with on a daily basis outside of the community? Not many. There's a handful, right? But everybody has a kitchen. Everybody wants to use a kitchen knife. Everybody gets cool about, oh, you made, like the opportunity for moving your product is definitely enhanced with culinary.
Yeah.
My experience.
And just like, I feel like as business owners, we're naturally guided by our markets. So whatever's selling more is what we're going to gravitate towards too, whether we want to or not. It's almost like a subconscious, like you got to feed your baby, and your baby's eating a lot of Western style chef knives. So I got to make a lot more Western style chef knives to keep my baby alive. And it's just, if that analogy makes any sense, but I feel like that's part of it. We've talked about it on our show too, that the return on the investment for the buyer is much higher with a culinary knife than any other knife. I mean, even a hunting knife, most places have bag limits. You're only going to use that knife once a year. You know, if you buy a $1,500 beautiful Damascus Bowie, it's going to be a shelf queen. There's no return on investment. If you buy a really beautiful chef knife, it's going to get used.
Yeah.
All the time. I also market like, I have the workhorses. Do you want a workhorse that you're not going to be afraid to use?
Yeah.
It's going to be a belt finish, stainless, nice handmade knife. Or do you want the Damascus shit to show all your homies how big your wiener is? You get this.
Wieners.
Mm-hmm. Titties.
Love it. All right. So I'm really interested in this one. Sediment aside, you've not been attached to anything that you've ever made.
Do you remember that feather Damascus big ass chef knife I made a few months back? I raffled off.
Yes.
That was the knife that I was closest to keeping out of any knife I've ever made.
And you've not done that?
I've never kept a knife. The only ones I've kept are rejects. And they're so bad now because I've had them for years that they're like levels below what my reject knives now look like. So like I've been contemplating making myself some kitchen knives. But
they're in your kitchen.
Yeah, but they're in my kitchen.
Okay.
They're rejects.
Gotcha. Yeah,
They're all hidden tang. One of them I glued the tang in and the blade was cocked.
Right.
And I didn't realize it till after it was dried. And I was like, well, we'll use the cock knife in my kitchen. Yeah, another one, I snapped it. Yeah, I snapped the tang off and my buddy TIG welded it back together, but you can see the welds above the bolster. So I kept that one.
Nice. Any inspirations, any makers that just get you going, or were you attracted to something somebody was doing early on that you've tried to like emulate? Or
Noah Vachon.
That's a good one.
Yep, Noah Vachon, because he was the first person I saw do the diamond grind, and I was like, I want to do that. So I was doing them for a while, but they take so much time. I was like, I'm gonna stop making them so people stop buying them, and I haven't made one in a while. But yeah, Noah Vachon, Morocco. I mean, and the longer you go, the higher the list gets, because there's Josh Prince, there's Gabe, to talk about Gabe again. All these guys, even like James Fleming, he puts out awesome work. Seth Lopez, the list just is never ending. Jason Knight, I mean, he does a different like type of knife and style than I usually do if I'm like left to my own devices. But when he puts out a chef knife, it is mwah. Just,
I'm not sure I've ever seen a chef knife that he's put out.
I think he's done a couple. They've always got that same handle, and that escapes me. If I could hone in on any one of my deficiencies, it would be my handle. It would be my ability to sculpt a handle.
Sure.
I fail every time I try and do those Jason Knight style like swooping butt, like Coke bottle looking handles. I fail. I don't know why. I've had people explain to me how to do it, and I'm like,
Yeah, apparently the most common answer I get is just all about your guidelines. You just wrote doing guidelines, and you just go on that.
Like guidelines?
Yeah.
I eyeball everything.
Yeah.
Except for my center line.
I wish I could. I'll go to a guideline though, but I haven't done many. I haven't done any. Actually, I'm working on finishing up my first hidden tang now. So yeah, it's as close as it's ever been. So
for me, hidden tangs usually boil down to like geometric handles or, the traditional Japanese looking handle.
Right. What I got here? Yeah, so I just finally finished up. So I made Denis a one of my paring knives, and I used the Rock Solid's Grip Tech scales, which I think are awesome. I mean, I don't even know how to say it. Like, and finally getting to use it. One of the coolest things about seeing going to Texas Blade Show was getting to see how much of that product is out there and being used right now, but seeing how everybody kind of finished it, because it's not a very traditional type of finish that you do. For me, I could speak for myself. But yeah, if you're in the market for some different kind of knife scales, handles for your work, go check out Rock Solid Scales. They got Grip Tech. You go to the website there, and not only do they have their flagship models too, but he's got a shit ton of stabilized wood epoxy handles, just all kinds of stuff. So Matt's a good dude. Look forward to seeing him in Atlanta here in a couple. It's like weeks now, dude. That's a little scary. But yeah, you can go there, use the discount code T10 for 10% off your next purchase. And while I'm out, I finished up that Grip Tech with some Pelican oil. So if you're also in the market for some premium wax, go check out Travis Haynes at pelicanpaste.com. He's got hard wax, soft wax, Pelican oil, hand solve. He's even got some soap, some grippy soap. Did you ever get your hands on that?
No.
It was cool. It was good.
Need some.
It's down to a nub now. So Travis, I will be stopping by and seeing you. Hopefully you'll have some there at Blade Show. He's going to have a table this year, so I'm stoked for him. That's another thing I was going to ask. You have any, before I get there, the Pelican paste discount code T10 will get you 10% off your next purchase there. You also just released some badass shirts. Did you see those?
No.
Oh, dude, go check out Pelican Paste on IG. He just dropped some new shirts. That badass design. I'm totally just like a steampunk Pelican deal. It was some like drippy wax on the wings and shit. It came out really cool. So, yeah, that's that. And then I was talking before we started the show here. You mentioned a new use for wax that I had not heard of before.
I didn't know it was new. I've been doing it for as long as I can remember, but I use wax to bed my tangs.
Very cool.
So when you do a hidden tang, you use on a chef knife anyways, usually glue everything together and then pull the knife out before it's fully set. So that you've got obviously the epoxy will fill in that hole a little bit, but you got a relatively easier hole to, broach out. But I use wax to do mine.
Cool.
And nice. if you're doing a bolster, I put the bolster on first before I wax anything, because if you try and slide the tang through the super tight bolster, it will just scrape all your wax off.
Nice. Good deal.
I didn't know that was like a unknown thing.
It might not be, but it is right now in this moment between you and I and our other 4 people listening.
Yeah, it works because wax epoxy won't stick to wax.
Well,
so like even if you forget, you can still just give it a couple love taps and it pops right out.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, Pelican Paste for the win. I think I heard you say this before, but I'm interested. Do you have any desire? We'll just say desire to ever have a table. Desire.
Yes.
That's all I'm asking.
Yes and no. If I feel like if I didn't sell anything, I would be so like emotionally crushed that I would like quit knife making. But if I made a shitload of money at a show, I would be hooked forever. So I don't know. It's hard. I also hate like that interaction where I'm the salesman. You know what I mean? And I know when you're at a table and it's your table, you're not acting like a salesman. You're just talking to people. But it's like not my jam. I don't know.
So that was the response that I thought that would be the linchpin in a yay or a nay. I'm surprised to hear that if you're stressing out if you sold anything or not, but yeah, because it's definitely one of those things where you're put in a position where you gotta get after it and sell your product and sell yourself. I mean, that's one of the things the house always says, right? 50% is making it, the other half is selling it, right? So that is definitely on the forefront. I have tremendous amount of trepidation behind it as well. So even though I have this weird opportunity and I've done, it in some way, it's definitely a lot easier under the guise of somebody else's deal, right?
Yeah,
but
it depends on. I feel like there's a lot of factors with it, and you could almost break it down scientifically. I feel like the style of knife you do makes a huge difference. So if you're doing like traditional ABS style or like, the stuff the old timers are doing, probably not going to sell that well. Micah has his own unique, more modern style, and he crushes it. And he's like the sweetest dude in the world.
So sexy to see, man. I love that guy. Micah's my dude. But yeah, that is, if there's a recipe that I think we could all follow, it's that right there. Not that you want to like completely rip off Micah Dunn and everything that he's doing, but like to see the amount of work he puts in, the hustle that he gets, and then when he's there, that's what he's about. He's not, the visiting and the bullshit and then the bro stuff happens after. But when he's at his table, he's about his business, and it shows because he does well.
He crushes it, and he doesn't half-ass any aspect of all the little things you need to pay attention to when you're setting up your table. The display is awesome. How he has the knives out, so they're spaced out, so you're not like hitting other knives with knives when your customers are picking them up. They're each on their own. He buys all these little do-rag like bandanas, and they all sit on the bandanas, and you get the bandana when you buy the knife. And he's got a magnetic stand for his culinary stuff, and it's all just set up perfectly.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just something he's good at or something somebody taught him, but yeah, if I were to do a table, I would rip off everything Micah does. And he knows that, and he would be proud to hear me say that. I think I would set my table up identical to his, just with different knives.
It would not be a bad route to follow for sure. That is one of those things. And then the rest would be just, getting out of your own way to do the other part of it. Right.
Yeah, I think that's where I would struggle, because you got to be enthusiastic when somebody walks up to your table. There's nothing that annoys me more at Blade when I walk by a table and the motherfucker's on his phone and ignoring everybody at his table. I'm like, dude, why are you, this is the largest knife show in the world. Why are you here? What are you doing? Yeah.
I agree.
And Micah is the opposite of that. He's talking to you before you're even at his table.
Yep.
Not about his knives, just like, oh, hey, did you see the Cowboys or whatever Texans like,
Yeah. Just creating that natural interaction and getting a conversation going. And then, it's not like a hard sell, right? Or a cold call. They're at a knife show. They came for what you got. So you gotta get them in there. But yeah, I think that is just an extremely, just the process of that is, absolutely, it creates a lot of fear for me.
But there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes too.
Yeah.
Transporting all your shit to the knife show, setting up your table after hours, tearing down your table after hours.
Yeah. And it's all stuff I've had the privilege to be a part of and get experience behind that. But again, doing it on your own is one of those things, which is the only reason why I say this, because there is a shit ton of makers that we've seen, that I've seen this year, that are stepping out and doing that this year. A lot of first time tables. I saw it at Texas. More people getting after it here in Atlanta, and hats off to you guys. Wishing you all the best of luck, and just seriously, hats off and props for taking the chance and putting yourself out there. Right. I had somebody tell me, I think it was my buddy John Ruff, one of Brent's friends, We were driving back from Blade last year, and he was like, so when are you going to do it? I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, well, you're a fucking knife maker. Like, this is what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to be here to like, and as annoying as it was, like the more I thought about it, I didn't have a definitive argument against it. Right. So ultimately, I think as long as it remains a goal and something that I'm interested in and striving for, I think that's really cool. So, but lots of inspiration around from everybody else that's pulling the plug and getting after it. So,
yeah, it depends on circumstance too. If I hadn't have stumbled into batchwork, which it 100% was, I had no idea it even existed. I just stumbled into it, and I needed like an avenue to sell more knives. I would probably think way more seriously about doing it.
Yeah, I get it.
Especially maybe the influx you're seeing is because we're being throttled still on social media.
I'm all green check marks right now.
Are you?
I'm out of jail.
I haven't been posting knives because I've been afraid. They flagged Salem Straub's face. I posted just a picture of his face for the podcast, and they flagged it. Let me see here. Oh, too far. Oh, thirst trap.
There's no talking going on. I just zoned out in my phone, and I just realized that.
Oh, I'm green too. Everything except for monetization. It says I can't give gifts or receive gifts.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I was surprised to find that out too. So let us know if you're out of the jail and all green as well, because that's cool.
Now,
if we are,
should I post a knife and then wait and see if I'm flagged by the end of this episode?
Yes,
because I haven't posted a knife in like 2 months.
No, I've been posting away. I never stopped. Just kept going. So
they updated Zuckerberg's programming. They must have updated their algorithm.
Yeah, there you go. So here on Triple T, we'd like to do a little segment, speaking of IG, that we call Maker Spotlight. So it's a time where we grab a maker out of the social media realm and give them a shout out and talk them up. So is there somebody that you had in mind that you wanted to shout out today?
There's a few. Well, I'll just give them quick shout outs. Most of them are from Maine, support the other local Maine makers. But one of them was War Crown Forge because he made the most hilarious merch shirt ever. And it's 3 swords. And it says, "Let us gingerly touch our tips" on the shirt. I ordered one. I bought one. My wife posted it. She thought it was hilarious.
What is that handle?
War Crown Forge. He's got like 60,000 followers. He doesn't need my help, but that shirt is fucking hilarious. So it's like totally worth mentioning. Walker Knife Co. is a Maine maker. He's similar to me, but he does a lot of EDC stuff. He's way better at photography and social media than I am. Check him out. M. Bishop Blades out of Herman, Maine. He's 20 minutes away from me. He is he's just a small guy in his garage making cool one-off pieces. Yeah.
All right, give me the Walker guy.
Walker
That's
Knife
who we're gonna
Co.
pick. Walker Knife Co.
on Instagram. Bear with me here.
I think it's just Walker Knives out of Maine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like an orange logo.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Walker Knives, WALKER Knives. Oh, I'm a douchebag.
Did you already follow him?
No, I didn't. I missed his follow, and I need to follow him back. So doing that now. Sorry.
He reached out to me the other day to introduce himself. Apparently, he listens to our podcast.
Yeah,
and I was like, holy fuck, we have listeners, dude.
Yeah. Well,
when everybody messages us, it's either they have a problem or a critique, and they always message Noah. And I'm starting to wonder why that is.
Because you're unapproachable, dude.
Oh,
you're scary.
I'm scary.
Yeah.
Why?
You don't give a fuck. There's like, I don't know.
Oh, because I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm kidding. I'm busting your balls.
It's because
you're anything but scary. You're anything but scary. Yes.
I'm a teddy bear. I got a big, fat, morphic body.
Yeah. Huggable.
I do have strong hands, though.
That's awesome.
I pull over a lot of chainsaws.
There you go. Yeah. I'm going to give this guy Walker Knives. He's got 4,284 followers. And I'm checking his page out right now. Really cool stuff. You are not shitting.
I could be wrong. I believe he might be a main guide. Which to most people, they'd have no idea how hard it is to become a main guide. So
it definitely got a guidey vibe here on this page. I was just thinking a lot of White River rafting stuff.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I had mentioned on the show 2 weeks ago or last week when it was just me and Noah that I'm having my ashes spread at a place called Gulf Haggis in Maine. And it's a 11-mile hike around a ravine that's all like whitewater rapids. He sent me a video of him kayaking those rapids.
Oh, shit.
And that's like water, like you die, bro. There's no swimming in there, you know? It's like granite and waves. Yeah, so
it's pretty, though. I'm taking it.
It's beautiful. It's awesome. I'm getting almost too old and feeble to hike it, and it makes me sad.
Well, get after it.
It's not like a go walk in the woods kind of hike. It's like legit. Like it hurts.
All right. Well, I have a maker. I think this guy's out of Italy. I'm going to butcher his name like I do everybody else, but it's Alfredo Faciperi.
Sounds pretty Italian.
I rolled the R there to show that I am part Mexican, but that's Alfredo Faccipiri. Culinary maker. He's got 5,988 followers. And this dude just makes ridiculously awesome culinary stuff. I am just all about it. Cool follow as well. But I'm seeing him in a knife magazine and a Blade Knives 2025. But just really awesome stuff. So if you haven't not following him, go check him out. That's Alfredo. I'm going to spell that last name one more time. Faccipiri. And go give him a follow and tell him the boys at Triple T sent you. And show him some love. All right.
Do it.
And was that a troll on Denis?
No, why does Denis say that?
Yeah.
Oh. We are two high output individuals.
Yeah. He always goes, do it. And then one time I was listening and you guys were like, do it. You're like, oh, does that work? Does it actually work? And I was like, are they going after Denis? I love it.
I go after Denis all the time. And Noah always looks so awkward. He's like, don't get Denis is a god. He's a god in the knife and YouTube community. Don't make fun of him.
Oh my God. Jesus. He's Canadian. Don't worry about it.
Not anymore.
Formally, yeah.
He's reformed.
Back to the good stuff. Well, buddy, I cannot believe that we're about to hit an hour and a half here. So that's a little longer.
I just did a whole podcast before this.
Yeah, you're a beast.
My butt is numb from this chair.
Let's get out of this chair and get out of here. But yeah, so where can we find you? What do you do? All that good stuff. Your little shameless plug.
Ryan Chadbourne Knife Works on Instagram and Facebook. Hustle and Grind Podcast.
Great show.
On all your listening platforms. Give us your money on Patreon. Buy my knives, motherfuckers.
You got a website?
Yeah, I mainly use it for invoicing though, because I never have inventory.
Yeah,
it's always it's When I first started making, I thought that was weird because I read like Knife Maker, I check out their website and there's no knives on there, and I'm like, this is weird. Now I understand.
The weight was mind blowing to me. Like, how the fuck? Why am I gonna wait? You know, this is great. Now I'm like, yeah, I'm really out, guys.
Yeah.
So, well, brother, I appreciate you coming on. Sorry it took so long, but I'm glad we got to do it. Always good to chat. Look forward to seeing you here in a couple weeks, hanging out, eating some food, and talking a bunch of shit.
We got to find a good barbecue place this year.
Yeah, because the
like
place
ribs
Denis took us to last time was fucking trash. So we'll just not ask Denis. Yeah,
we'll find somebody who's from Atlanta.
There you go.
And like one of the security people, and be like, hey, where's the best rib? Cool. We'll find the fattest security person we can find. And we'll be like, where's the good rib spot?
Yeah.
And we'll be like, oh, darling, it's down here.
Yeah, baby. Come on, follow me. All right. All right, brother. We're going to get out of here. I appreciate it. Thanks again. And unfortunately for the rest of our listeners, Denis will be back next week. And yeah, you'll have to hear him. So,
I mean, if you want to petition to have me be the full-time co-host, I'm open to that.
After this one, he may be petitioning you to replace me. So, yeah.
It happened after I was on Fire and Steel. Honor wanted to replace Toby with me. But
that's a good call. Yeah. All right, brother. We're Ghost.
And
that's a wrap.